It's perpetuating. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. I am Stephen M. Thank you for allowing me to be on your screen again. I will be the ringmaster of this little circus we're putting together here as we get into some more of these
mind-boggling conspiracies.
And I got a little something special today. It's going to be a cartoon-themed conspiracy video, all cartoons. I stumbled across this Peppa Pig thing, and it's kind of weird. So we're going to learn about Peppa Pig. It's kind of interesting, and I had a couple other cartoon ones in the holster, so I just threw them together. I found them interesting. I hope you find them interesting too. There's a couple of SpongeBobs, and all about SpongeBob, other characters in the show. It's cool. Who put this shit together, man? Me. That's who.
Who put this thing together? Me. That's who.
Trust me, all right? Before we get into that, just do me a quick favor and hit that sub button. It's right down there. It only takes 2 seconds of your time. Please, I'm telling you, bro, I know I look like a douche, but I promise you I would do it for you. Leave something down there you want followed, except for an OnlyFans, and I got your back, brother. I'm telling you, I'd hold you down like a pair of cement shoes, all right? All right, no more panhandling. Let's get right up into this. Well, that sounds all right. Oh! Well, I mean, Courage the Cowardly Dog's house is a real thing, right? Like it's a real place. I swear it is. And if he's in purgatory, then what did Miriam and what's his nuts do to be in purgatory? Or are they just like characters like that just be in purgatory, like the purgatory watchers?
They're like demons of purgatory.
Evil shenanigans.
They got a job from the devil to watch over purgatory, and they're taking the shape of grandparents or old people. That maybe so. Maybe that's what it is. He should have explained, so I don't gotta fucking be wondering anymore.
Then let's get the narrative correct.
And I thought the courage thing was the house exists. Why do I think there was like a Skinwalker thing? Or maybe like equated to Skinwalker Ranch, if you know what that is, or if you don't know what that is, rather, it's bugged the fuck out. Look into Skinwalker Ranch, boy. Whew, that's crazy. That might now. The house exists. The place exists that Courage was supposed to be at. I'm about sure of it. If I'm not, go ahead and tell me in the comment sections. No, don't. I'm not teasing purgatory. Get it together. All right. Boom. I didn't believe the Peppa Pig theory until I got my daughter this puzzle. I don't know what the Peppa Pig theory is, and I'm going to say it before I hit play on this. It's horrible animation, but I love something. Hold on, let's okay, I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what just happened. I don't know what the Peppa Pig theory is. I don't know what they were trying to show by turning it sideways.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
If anybody has any knowledge on that, please go ahead and drop a comment and let me know, because I have no idea. I'm sure I'll try to wrestle something up before I put this video out and throw her up. Yeah. But as of right now, I don't know what the theory is. The only thing I know about Peppa Pig, maybe this is the conspiracy that they want little little American kids to speak British.
It's like they're trying to prove how British they are. I'm literally British. I'm literally British.
Because my sister's kids, like my niece, love Peppa Pig. Pretty much came up as a Ute on Peppa Pig.
What is a Ute?
Oh, excuse me, Your Honor. 2 youths.
And she started talking with a British accent. The one time I was around them and my sister brought up somebody, I wonder where such and such is. And she says out of her like 4-year-old mouth, perhaps they're on holiday. What the fuck did you just say? Holiday? Like, I don't know. I don't think that's they're implying in this puzzle that they're teaching kids to American kids to talk with a British accent. I can't talk at all, so maybe I should use a British accent. But no, I don't know. If anybody knows, please go ahead and fill me in, please. Okay, so like I said in the first video there about Peppa Pig, I didn't know about the Peppa conspiracy, and I don't think it is what I stated there. So I did some digging, and I found 2. One people probably know about, and you're gonna say you're an idiot for not knowing about that. And another one that I found pretty interesting, and here they go. I enjoyed them, so I hope you enjoy them too.
Have you ever heard the conspiracy theory about Peppa Pig? Listen closely, for what I'm about to reveal will shock you to the core.
To the core.
Peppa Pig, that seemingly innocent children's show, holds a dark secret. It's more than just an animated series, it's a clandestine operation. Deep underground, a network of puppet masters controls every episode, using Peppa Pig as a mind-altering tool. The show's repetitive nature is a ploy to lull young minds into a trance-like state, making them more susceptible to hidden subliminal messages. Beneath those cute animations lies a hidden agenda to indoctrinate children with a specific worldview, molding their innocent minds for a future they won't even comprehend. And here's the kicker. Peppa Pig is not just a cartoon character, it's an AI-generated entity, constantly learning from children's reactions and refining its tactics. Are we raising a generation of unknowing agents, programmed to serve a mysterious agenda? The truth is out there. Stay vigilant, question everything, and never forget, even the cutest pig can have a sinister side. Now what do you think? Follow for more.
Stay vigilant. See that? You gotta stay vigilant or better watch having your kids sitting around watching Peppa Pig all the damn time. First off, they should have named the other sibling Salt. Salt and Peppa Pig. So dumb. So you know, it's brain. I don't trust any kids shows at this point because yeah, they probably are doing that. They're probably making MK Ultras out of them. Who knows? You know, and they snapped something. They got this shit figured out. I'm sure. But yeah, I believe it. No doubt about it. It's a clandestine operation. I don't know if it's deep underground. It's probably like in a room somewhere above ground. But I don't know. I don't know. So that's conspiracy 1 on Peppa Pig. They're brainwashing your kids, maybe to speak British in America.
We do not care.
And do other things.
You're gonna have to duck shells every day, mother.
And why wouldn't they? Because you gotta get them young, you know?
Here's the scary truth behind Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig was diagnosed with cancer at just 2 years old and spent most of her early life in bed. She needed constant assistance and 24-hour supervision just to keep her alive. Peppa was a burden and embarrassment for the entire family. When her dad finally had enough, he got a horrific idea. He chained Peppa to her bed so she could never leave her own room. Years later, the parents had another child whom they also named Peppa. This Peppa replaced the original Peppa, who is still locked in her room. Now, if you Google Peppa Pig house wallpaper, something horrifying comes up. At first glance, this looks like a normal picture, but if you look closer, you can see the original Peppa still locked inside her room.
I mean, why was Peppa in the house in that picture? Like, what was the point? What was Peppa doing in there?
Little pig, let me in. By the hair of my chinny chin.
What was Peppa doing? What were you doing? What were you doing in the house, Peppa? And is there another pig named Peppa? I don't know. I never watched the show. I haven't indulged in a whole lot of Peppa.
When you look into it,
I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's a great show. And if you like it, that's awesome.
Sometimes they say huge.
I just don't know. But that is weird. And in that puzzle, now I get it. In that puzzle, it was supposed to look like, or not supposed to look like, but he was saying it looked like, it was like an event for like sick kids, you know, because it was like a doctor suit on the one. And well, that's pretty much it. Oh, and Peppa was off to the side, even in that picture. So, like, cancer isn't contagious, and we're not going to joke around about cancer. That's for darn sure. But it wouldn't make any sense that you got to keep her to the side. Or is it just because they hate her? The dad hated her.
The worst thing that ever happened to me.
Wait, this guy's saying that they replaced Peppa, though. So did Peppa pass on? They're saying they killed Peppa, the original Peppa?
Wrong kid died.
Like the wrong kid died. The wrong kid died, goddamn.
Oh, man. It's perpetuating.
The Flintstones takes place in the future because in the crossover with the Jetsons, that's proof they're part of the same universe. And the Jetsons, they live out in the space thousands of years in the future, and they build a time machine to go even further into the future, and it brings them to Earth where the Flintstones are. Now naturally they just assume they went back in time, but the time machine actually worked because the Jetsons were part of the upper class that got to leave Earth as it was rotting away and start a new civilization. Meanwhile, the poors were left in the rubbish of Earth to try to rebuild. And that's where the Flintstones are today. And if you take an even deeper look, how do the Flintstones know what baseball is? How do the Flintstones know what Christmas is?
Well,
they know these modern sports, these modern holidays. It's because they've already experienced them. And to top it all off, what does the theme song say?
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones, they're the modern Stone Age family.
Modern.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the new era of the Stone Age in the future because the Flintstones are a post-apocalyptic civilization.
That is mind-blowing, and it makes perfect sense. Predictive programming, right? Because this is how it's gonna be. So the elites, the upper echelon, they got to live in these ivory towers where they were like probably like metal-looking pools in the Jetsons, and the poor stay down here in the rubble, Barney Rubble. Damn. And it's just like the movie. If you've ever seen Soylent Green, and if you haven't seen Soylent Green, do yourselves a favor and look at that movie. It's based in 2022, but it was made in the late 70s. Oh, and it's pretty much where we're at now.
New York City in the year 2022. Nothing runs anymore. Nothing works. But the people are the same. And the people will do anything to get what they need.
This guy, who thinks about this shit? Again, like I said, but boy, it sounds like he's onto something. And that's, I mean, how close are we to it? Because with the separation between the rich and poor is getting further and further and further away. And eventually, well, not eventually, already, the rich don't want to deal with the poors. Just like Dave Chappelle said, his worst, was it, the types of whites he dislikes the most, the poor whites.
I must tell you, I've never had a problem with white people ever in my life. But full disclosure, the poor whites are my least favorites. We've gotten a lot of trouble out of them.
I mean, the wild whites of West Virginia. You don't like the poor whites. Well, he didn't say them. He just said the poor whites.
I'll tell you straight up what I like. I prefer a Roxy Cotton, a Lorset, a Norco, a Viking and ES, a Percocet 10, a Xanax, especially a Xanny bar. Right here, listen. You want to hear the Boone County mating call? Come and get it, baby.
Thank God that guy showed up.
You know the SpongeBob intro with that island? That's
that
believed
island?
to represent a U.S. military field used for nuclear bomb testing. The theory suggests that all the anthropomorphic sea creatures, including SpongeBob, are actually products of
cool
nuclear
graphic.
radiation from those tests. It makes sense if you think about it. Fish that talk and live in houses sounds like mutation to me. Even the buildings with their metallic rundown appearance could be leftovers from the tests.
I mean, that one seems plausible. Also, there is the fact that it's a fucking cartoon, so, you know, it's supposed to be a little bit goofy. There have been animals that talk in cartoons before. I don't know if he's ever called wind to such a thing, but you know. That happens here and there. So, but I did the building thing being warped and the island. I see how it ties in. Has anybody ever asked, did he pass away? The creator, well, I guess probably, he probably wasn't the owner. Nickelodeon probably was. The creator probably, or no, he passed away, but did anybody ask him? Like, hey, what the fuck's going on here? I'll have to look into that myself. I'm going to say maybe. I'm going to give it a hard maybe. Strong maybe. That's what happened with SpongeBob. It's nuclear SpongeBob, son.
Have you ever heard of the conspiracy theory about Mrs. Puff? There's a theory that Mrs. Puff may have a very dark past.
Very.
In Season 2 episode of SpongeBob titled Lighthouse Louie, it was revealed that before Mrs. Puff came to Bikini Bottom, she lived in a place called New Kelp City. And that she may have been responsible for a terrible accident that happened there. Because in that episode, there was a scene where SpongeBob was going through a whole bunch of junk, and he ran across this newspaper article. The article is from the New Kelp Post and reads, "Deranged boat teacher makes getaway." And then at the bottom says distracts authorities with balloon animals. And it clearly shows a picture of Mrs. Puff. But here's when things get a little spooky. It might be a clear indication that Mrs. Puff is not who she says she is.
Who is this bitch?
Take it back to the Season 2 episode, No Free Ride. There was a scene where she says, "I have to move to a new city, start a new boating school with a new name." Then she says, "No, not again." Do you remember this part about distracting authorities with balloon animals? Rewind it back to this scene.
Dang.
I don't know about y'all. I think Mrs. Puff got some explaining to do.
That's crazy. Yo, Mrs. Puff is a gangster. That's wild. She caused a little accident and she don't want it to have to happen again. SpongeBob, just keep that in mind, son. What? Better quit acting up in the boating school.
I'm a thug, but I'm a nice person. I'm a thug by survival.
But they threw that newspaper in there for a reason. That clearly is her storyline. And more importantly, who's figuring this shit out? Who's sitting around like, wait a minute, look at that newspaper. And then going back through SpongeBob episodes, like, I don't know who figures these things out. Probably a Swiftie, because they'd be figuring out the craziest shit about Taylor Swift. Or like the person that came up with like meth or like the concoction to make ecstasy. Like, who thinks this shit up? Or the person that thought up whippets. Like, you know, like, oh man, somebody did that joke. I think it's a Dennis Leary joke, actually.
We did them all, man. We even invented a couple of drugs back in the 70s. Yeah. Get this, whippets. Get this, okay? Some kid figured this out back in the 70s, and this kid should have been involved in the space program, okay? Some kid took the time and the imagination to go down to a supermarket and figure out if you take a whipped cream can container and you press the nozzle on top just enough before the whipped cream comes out, some gas comes out, you snort the gas, you get high for 5 seconds.
It's like, who thought of that? Probably an accident, really. But I mean, that's why would you write that into SpongeBob? And there's a bunch of conspiracies about SpongeBob, or theories. You can't even call them conspiracies, I guess. You know what, I will for the sake of the videos. Conspiracies about SpongeBob. They're pretty interesting. I don't see why these cartoon writers are writing things so diabolical and then make them appear not that way. Or maybe it's just fun for them to do that. I guess I would do it, so fuck.
Remember this episode.
Oh, more SpongeBob. Oh, this is crazy, though.
Brother Roger. Peep where Squidward goes.
Come right in, brother Squidward.
Like, come on, dude. Stop.
This almost makes the other 353 days worth living for. For centuries, cephalopods have had but one nemesis. Let he among you who wishes to join the lodge face your greatest fear. I'll never forget my initiation ceremony.
I mean, you see what that is, right? He's a Freemason. Clearly. They throw the pyramid in there, and they got the eye thing going on. I'm pointing at it like it's still up, but it's not still up. But you saw the pyramid thing. Here, check it out. That pyramid in the beginning with the eye there that you can't see, that's crazy. I mean, they didn't hide that at all. And why would they? Because if you're at this level in life, you're probably in the club, at least in that club. You might not be in the club like Epstein Island Club, but you're doing that. I think it's, you know, levels to that whole thing. Of course. The thing is, why did he say 353 days? I bet you there's some significance to that. He said, this almost makes me enjoy the other 353 days of the year. Well, that means there's 354 days in the year. Assuming this is a 1-day event. Is it a 10-day event? There's something weird about that. There's something weird about that, and they put that in there for a reason, and they know some shit.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!
What's going on with the calendar? How many videos have I done or talked about how our time's probably off or fucked up in some aspect and never gets realigned, never gets reset?
We got to start eating babies.
If you're a 33rd level Freemason, how about you tell me in the comments what's up with this whole little Jimmy John right here?
In the Disney film, Pinocchio, it's unbelievable, the pub scene. He talks about bringing the boys to Pleasure Island, and then he starts whispering what happens to the boys, and the fox freaks out. He's like, oh, but, and he goes, no, they don't come back as boys. Watch it.
Oh, Coachman? What's your proposition?
Well, how would you blokes like to make some real money? Well, and who do we have to, No, nothing like that. You see? I'm collecting stupid little boys. Stupid little boys? You know, the disobedient ones what play hooky from school. Oh, and I takes them to Pleasure Island.
Ah, Pleasure Island.
Pleasure Island? But the law, suppose they... No, there's no risk. They never come back as boys.
Dude, that's crazy. Oh, in 1940 they put that out there in a kids movie. You know, no one would have thought like that back then. You're not even kind of the mainstream people, adults, nobody would have picked that up. Well, the people involved were probably like, yeah, bring the little boys, that's what I'm talking about. Clearly now we think of Epstein's Island and all that shit. And he said the disobedient ones. Who was Sandusky, you know, targeting? The disobedient ones. He had the 33 mile, or that was it called, 32nd mile, or whatever the hell it was called. Was like a little place for the troubled youths to go, you know, because they're going to be the most not gullible, you know, I'm looking susceptible, whatever word I'm looking for here. What is the word I'm looking for? Jesus.
It's easy to not be a dipshit.
He's going to make them do whatever the hell they want, okay?
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
They'll listen. Oh, my goodness, we have an opportunity. This guy's a higher up. He's rich. We can do X, Y, Z, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, uh-oh, didn't expect all this. So, of course, and so you see this big wig fat cat sitting there in the cartoon. Shh, go get me some little boys. They won't come back as little boys. So what are they even coming back as? Dark stuff in kids' movies. Okay, that's enough for ruining your childhood. Here goes the feel-good video of the day, I suppose. It's only 7 seconds long, and I'm sure you're reading it right now. That's pretty much the whole thing, but it's, you know.
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
I call as soon as they got together, I'm like, oh, wait till Jackson Mahomes. He's gonna be trying to get around her, gonna ruin her career. Her and Brittany. Oh man, if she starts hanging around them, it's It's the end of Taylor Swift, that's for sure. Even though I think the whole Travis Kelce and her dating thing's a sham. I want to try to make a video on that. A couple people already have. They beat me to the punch. But either way, that is the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around to the end. If you didn't hit that sub button, just go ahead and hit the damn sub button for me real quick. Takes 2 seconds of your time. Okay, if you liked the video, hit the like button for me, please. And if you didn't like it, just keep it moving, bro, because I'm telling you, I don't want no beef with you. And that's all, folks.